Kimberly here. I know I said I was going to post last night, but I was stuck in tax preparation hell. Sorry about that. My city was testing the tornado warning sirens. It's a little windy today. I didn't think that we had any, I wasn't aware of any tornado warnings or anything in the area, but this is the time of year when we have tornadoes, and we have, quite a few every year around here. That was just sort of very annoying. And I know I was supposed to post my video yesterday. I was in tax preparation hell. Now you have to report your cryptocurrency very precisely, and I've got like 10 pages, and it's very tedious, and I was trying to do that, and I just got stuck in it. And I've been preparing my taxes on my own since I was about 16. I think I've used a tax preparer maybe 3 times my whole life. I try to save money by doing it myself, and it's usually pretty simple, but this cryptocurrency, I've got so much of it that I've got to report. Just little tiny transactions. I didn't have big capital, but just little transactions I did back and forth. So it's very tedious, and I just never got around to getting the video up. But and I think I made mention of my thumbnail on the video for the attacker that ran his car into the barricade. It shows me smiling, and I'm trying. I made a thumbnail. I just learned how to do it, and I was trying to replace that one. So eventually, I've got some issues with my YouTube channel. It's that, and some of my videos in the beginning aren't showing on my, I don't know, some people say they can see them or whatever. But I'll get around to changing it eventually if I can figure out if they can help me fix it or something. I don't know. And I didn't make my podcast either because I was so busy with this tax thing. But anyway, I was talking about Noah Green. I was going to make a video about Noah Green, and I know he died. He passed away from the being shot by the Capitol police officers. But if he would have survived, they probably would use the insanity defense for him because of his mental state and the violence of the nature of the crime. So they probably would have definitely used an insanity defense for him. And it's sometimes called the mental disorder defense. And this defense is a criminal case. It's a criminal legal defense used in criminal cases. And it's to argue that a defendant is not responsible for their actions due to an episodic or like a persistent state in a psychiatric disease that they may have at the time that they commit the crime. And to me, I kind of think that's a bunch of BS, horse crap or whatever. I mean, it's just, to me, it's like a cowardly way of not taking responsibility for your criminal actions and not wanting to go to jail. To me, it's just a made up term and just really overused. And actually, I think the first time it was used was in Britain when an Englishman shot the Prime Minister's secretary. He was thinking there was some kind of conspiracy or something of that nature, and he shot and killed the secretary. And I was going to talk about the cases. Tomorrow I'll make a video talking about some of the major high-profile cases. And there was a particular case in the U.S. that involved Francis Scott Key, and I'll go over that tomorrow. But that's the basis, or the beginning of the basis of this type of defense. And I just think it's just, I would never go for it because very few people are mentally, truly mentally insane. Very few people are. And that's why this defense rarely works. I found different percentages that it works anywhere from 1 to 20% of the time. So I really didn't get a good estimate in the research I was doing, but it doesn't really work that much. And you really have to have a really crackerjack legal team to really get away with it. And because they are admitting that they committed a crime, usually it's a heinous crime of some sort. And that's one of the reasons why they want to use this defense, because they'll oftentimes either get the death penalty or life sentence or a very harsh crime. So that's why a lot of times they invoke this type of defense. And I just don't like it. And sometimes they call it the rich person's defense, because a lot of people use it. They have the money. They're able to use it because they have the money to pay a team of lawyers, or a lot of very high-profile, expensive lawyers who will, use every avenue to try to get them off for the crime that they committed. And that's kind of the inequality in our justice system here. That just kind of proves, it's usually very, I believe it's very lopsided. Because if you're being annihilated by somebody, if they say somebody breaks into your home and like a home invasion and they're annihilating you, you don't call 911 and say, this temporarily insane person is trying to harm me or do me in. You say, somebody's trying, you're not talking about the state of mind that person's in. You're just talking about, you're describing them as, pretty much as a horrible person, So to me, that kind of is, I want to say, central or key to the description of the crime right there, right at the beginning. And when that person is calling 911 and asking for help, they're not telling you a temporarily insane person is chasing me or trying to get me. It doesn't, it really doesn't work that way. But they can twist it around in court to make it seem like that, months or years later. Sometimes these cases go on for a long time. And bringing back the date, of a case that happened 2 or 3 years ago, especially with a high-profile, very wealthy person that can afford a good defense, they can prolong it and stretch it out forever. And sometimes juries, when a case is a long time ago, and they have to go back to that, and they have to listen to the witness, and sometimes the witness may not seem as they may be emotional, they may cry or be upset, but you really don't see sometimes if that witness survives or if they watch somebody else being hurt or harmed. Sometimes the jury just doesn't really get the amount of fear and really seeing what's going on, And somebody who can commit a crime like that, to me, that's not insanity. Insanity is when you don't have function of your brain, like you can't discern things. I don't think it means that you're not responsible for your actions. That's just what I mean. Not that you think the sky is green and the grass is blue or things like that. Things of that a person who may be mentally affected might be seeing colors or seeing little creatures running around or hearing voices. To me that is kind of a level of insanity, but not when you have the ability to commit a horrible crime and then try to get away from it. You don't want the cops to come and catch you. You try to hide or you try to destroy evidence, and you're able to deny it and concoct a lie or whatever. That to me kind of proves that in that moment you were not criminally insane or mentally insane or temporarily insane. And one of the biggest people who used this defense was John Hinckley Jr. And he shot President Reagan, and that was the defense he used because he was trying to impress Jodie Foster. And he had seen Taxi Driver, the movie that she was in, and I think he kind of identified with the character that Robert De Niro was playing. And I think it kind of played in his mind that way. But I don't truly think he was mentally totally out of it. because he made these plans and he was able, there's a level of cognition that goes on when you're doing something, when you commit a process, even if it's a horrible crime. You have to do these steps for it to be successful. And I don't think somebody who's truly criminally insane can process these things in steps with the conscious thought to have an end result of what they want, you know, as in shooting somebody or, you know, whatever crime they're committing, you know. So that to me, right there, to me is proof that they weren't criminally or mentally, I keep saying criminally, that they weren't temporarily insane, because all of a sudden that you just snap out of it. And then usually people who use that defense, they usually never have another incident like that it's just a one-time thing, you know. And for you to one-off on being temporarily insane, I don't buy that, you know, not at all. And I think some of the people that have used it in the past, it's mostly been men, but there have been women, and I'm going to talk about that tomorrow, some of the cases I'm going to bring up. I just think that it's just a ridiculous way of trying to deny that you did something, and you know you did it, and then the afterthought of it is, oh, I don't want to go to jail, you know, and I'm going to plead temporary insanity. But they do have to take a lot of tests, and for them to be evaluated by psychiatrists to be able to use that defense. And there's different levels of this. It's like guilty but insane is a little bit different than temporary insanity. Criminally insane is a little bit different. Incompetent to stand trial. So there's different levels of it. And then there's also crime of passion, and affluenza is a new one, which I think I'll talk about those too in another video. Okay, well, I'll be back tomorrow, and I'm going to talk about some of the high-profile cases of people who've used the temporarily insane defense. Thank you all. Thank you so much for coming to my channel.